Peter Bergen of CNN and Daniel Rothenberg of ASU. But Fahid Zakaria is also an advisor on that. Tom Ricks is on that, and is on that. It's called the Study for the Center of Warfare, and it's by the New America Foundation, which we want to have those guests on and explain more about what New America is, what it's all about, why they formed this unique organization to study the future of warfare, to keep us out of the blunders that we've made, hopefully to protect our American soldiers, who are our precious commodity, which people seem to forget when they start thinking of these grand schemes, that American troops ultimately are the pointy end of any diplomatic effort and often the first ones to be forgotten when it goes south. There's no World Bank strategy for a soldier, right? When he screws up, he's not going to get to be the director of the World Bank and find a job for his mistress. He's got to go home and slug it out and wash dishes or get into Hollywood or find his life. Often confused about what he did, why he did it, why she did it, and they're remarkable. Our American military are just remarkable human beings, and they deserve everything that we can give them in support.
They do. I saw in my own eyes on what the Marine Army Special Force when I was there. I did my training in Fort Benning, Georgia, and 29 Palm. I worked with all of them, and they're so loyal for this country. They give us the reason we're safe in the freeway and malls here.
Yes.
All this because of them.
Yes,
because of all of them. Not only Marine, Special Force, Navy SEALs,
right.
Air Force, Army, everybody's protecting this beautiful country. That's why I wrote this, me and my colonel wrote this book, and thanks to him, he helped me out with this book because I have only 9th grade education. Thanks to Russian, they kicked me out and couldn't finish my education. And that books explain everything is a civilian point of view. That's the first time in history some civilian wrote about Army or Navy or Marines. There's everything else in this book. And I want to explain this to American. They should read this book. The reason, I'm not trying to be a salesman right now, there's a good motivation, positive energy come from me, Fahim Fazli, born in Afghanistan, go back after 30 years, pay his dues for this beautiful country. And the reason I was paying my dues for this country, because this country saved me from the communism. I came in this country, they gave me a citizenship, I've got naturalized citizen, and I'm this country gave me everything. Do you think I have been possible to become actor in Afghanistan or become author or be in all these shows, TV shows, radio, or Tom Hanks, this? No way. America is the best country. And you guys, I'm not trying to insult anybody. Look at you guys. You guys have electricity, waters, cars, roads. You guys have everything. Microwave. We don't have to go that far.
You just listed, Fahim, all the things that we take for granted on a daily basis.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. I have a quick question for you. As an interpreter, working for U.S. forces in Afghanistan, that puts you in a very unique position.
yes.
What was the biggest impact on you in working in that position at that time with those Marines in Afghanistan?
First, as soon as I found out I was in Fort Benning, Georgia. If there was 50 or 60 translator, and a colonel walk in and say, "Who wants to go with the Marine?" I was me, and other guy raised our arm, because I'm not an office person. I'm not go sitting behind a computer, stuff like that. I want to go see the people of Afghanistan. I want to go with that Marine patrolling over there. It was a little tough for me. Should I take their side or their side? But guess what I did? I did a fair side. I did the right translation. Our Marines was in Afghanistan. They were going the right patrolling. They didn't shoot the innocent people. And the Afghan make sure they're not shooting us. And I was a bridge between two countries.
And sometimes that can be very difficult.
It is difficult. They put a price.
If the American or the Afghan says something that may be insulting or provocative,
right? And the translation, I did the right translation. If the guy say "F you, F this," I wasn't telling the colonel "F you." I said, "Sir, he's not happy, but he's using." I cannot tell a 4-star general, especially general. General Mills was 3-star. General Mills we were patrolling, and I saw this guy was giving General Mills a bad look. Of course, he has a bodyguard that was next to him as a translator. And I walk and run towards that guy. He's remembering something. General Mills asked me what he says. I said, "Sir, he's not happy." Yeah, it was tough for me. I'm American citizen. I love this country. I'm die for this country. I pay my, but don't forget, I was born in Afghanistan too. Afghanistan is in my birth country. United States is my adopted country. I have to have a respect for both culture, both. And you're right. I was in a very tough position. They call me traitor. Hey, traitor! In my Afghani words. And I go to that store. I go to that village. I'm saying, why you call me traitor? I'm here to solve problems, translate language between English and Pashto. Why you call me? Then you have to educate them.
And that's a different type of warfare.
Listen, we're going to take a short break now. You're listening to the amazing Fahim, the translator, who saved a lot of lives. You're on the Veterans Heritage Hour, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Clint Eastwood and Charlie Wilson and Tom Hanks and Hollywood. We'll be right back. Thanks. Come back to us.
Would you like to own a thriving business and help employ local veterans? The Vetraplex Handyman Construction and Landscape business is the opportunity you've been waiting for. The Vetraplex is your gateway to an affordable startup business with 0% financing for qualifying owners. By owning a Vetraplex franchise, you'll be hiring veterans, providing them both income and opportunity, while at the same time providing your customers a way to say thank you for your service to our nation's veterans. For more information, visit vetraplex.org. Again, that's vetraplex.org or call 928-284-2022.
We'll put you right on the 101.
Okay. In fact, you can follow me.
How about that bandage? You got the mirrors on, son?
Have you ever wanted to be a truck driver? If so, pay attention. If not, pay attention anyway. Southwest Truck Driver Training offers everything you need to get started. You can get hired before you begin training. They've got day, night, or weekend programs to fit your busy schedule. If you have any questions, no sweat. They've got veteran supportive campuses with veterans on staff to serve you. And on top of that, they have lifetime job placement assistance. Put the pedal to the metal. Call Southwest Truck Driver Training today.
Yeah, right. I'm the new guy. This is I like that. I like that.
This is something about doing something in Hollywood.
Hey everyone, it's James from Whether it was my last will and testament before the or an ongoing custody battle for my children during my divorce, I needed help, so I lawyered up. If you need help, I urge you to contact Capstrom Law Firm. Capstrom Law Firm in Springfield, Missouri, services clients throughout the state in criminal law, personal injury, and family law. With over 13 years practicing law, Tom Capstrom understands both law and legal procedures and how stressful they can be. Let Tom Capstrom Law Firm and his dedicated staff take the stress and worry out of a difficult situation by calling every Monday. We feel so strong about the work that Tom and his staff are doing that he'll be a monthly guest on the show. Tom is a veteran and a listener, for God's sake, so you know the guy is solid and will fight for you. Give Tom a call by calling 417-864-0552 or email Tom at capstromlaw.com. And don't forget to tell him that that's on.
So many mules dumping in the shower, and ship it to Afghanistan.
And they had to load the mules.
30 seconds.
They had to load the mules.
If you or someone you know is looking for a new job or career, you need to visit the pros. National Career Fairs at ncfairs.com. National Career Fairs hosts over 300 career fairs a year nationwide. The events are free and give you the perfect chance to meet some of the top employers in your area face-to-face. To find the nearest career fair to you, visit ncfairs.com. Again, that's ncfairs.com. What are you waiting for?
You're listening to the Veterans Heritage Hour on the Vets on Media Network.
We're back. This is the Veterans Heritage Hour. We're back with Fahim Fazli and his co-author Mike Moffat, and we're going to spend the rest of the show talking about Hollywood and movies and the excitement, the exciting parts in his life, and certainly helping to promote the book, which we think is fascinating. You talked about Charlie Wilson again, about all the mules. The funny story in the book, Charlie Wilson, just to get back to that again, is how are you going to get all these stingers right into the Mujahideen up in the mountains? So they had to find donkeys,
Right.
mules. CIA was out looking to buy mules up all around the world, right? To get them, to load them, to get them to a place in Pakistan maybe, and then load them and drop them in where they could be loaded up with stingers.
Yeah, that was number one issue because Afghanistan is the 22,000 feet high mountains, the
Wow.
Hindu Kush mountain,
Yeah.
the Pamirs mountain. which is those mountains, they defeat a lot of empires. Charlie Wilson says we cannot do it by road because Afghanistan doesn't have enough roads, and they come out with that donkey mixed with horse,
Sure.
we call them mule.
Yeah.
And I think they purchased them from South America or somewhere, or I'm not sure where they purchased it.
I don't know, but they were looking for them everywhere. And they were
Everywhere.
buying them like crazy. And then one of the CIA missions was to get these mules. The mules were needed for the Stingers to get up to the Mujahideen.
And they were from Afghanistan, size of Texas. On one side or to the other side is the same thing. And north in Afghanistan, the Panjshir Valley, the Massoud, Ahmad Massoud was a great freedom fighter over there. And he did a lot of work over there. And in south, Aji Latif, and northeast, which is now they call him the terrorists, the Taliban, was Akani. He was a great, they used to deal with those, they were great fighters. And they, without those donkeys, they couldn't do transfer one side of the country, the other side of the country. But the Stingers was pretty heavy. I picked it up, a Stinger, and Charlie Wilson was putting my shoulder. It was pretty heavy one. We transferred it. And thanks to Charlie Wilson, the first time the helicopters was shot in Nangarhar province. And after that, the Russian back off, and they know somebody's big tools coming.
Big trouble now.
Big trouble now.
So it's interesting now. It was the Stingers against the Hind helicopter. Now it's looking for anti-tank weapons in Ukraine, maybe. So it's the same. It's the same enemy. They
just give 20,000 Afghan. We take care of it, sir.
It's crazy. Before we switch, we don't understand. And they're saying, well, how did we get? I read there's a book in here that I read. It was a book, Lawrence of Arabia, who's one of my heroes. History. And in talking about his mission, not in Afghanistan, but he was certainly knowledgeable about the Middle East. He spoke the language. He had gone to school. He studied at Cambridge. He was a brilliant guy. But even when they were trying to divvy up the Middle East after World War I, no one wanted to do anything with Saudi Arabia. They didn't want the Wahhabist sect and that brand of horrible Islam. They said these people are crazy. Even the other Arabians were saying these guys are crazy. Let's just give them the desert, and we'll isolate them. And lo and behold, that's where the oil was discovered.
Right.
So what creates a Taliban? What is the religious craziness that gets into this? That so skews this the name of Islam, and we have Taliban, now we have ISIS. We have this breed of mostly Arab people, I would think, but I don't know. I lived in Indonesia. I worked in Kazakhstan. I've been around many Muslim people, have been treated with the most kindness. My dear friends are in Marrakesh, Morocco. You were there.
Right. I was. We
the
did
most beautiful sister city relationship I've had with students, and I want to shout out to Husni and Nadia and Donia and all those beautiful people in Morocco. Beautiful Islam. I mean, you would live your life in that kind of a world.
Hospitality, too.
Hospitality, love, and kindness. It's almost an infusion of Buddhism in all of this.
What they did, sir.
So who corrupted this, and how do we get to that? That seems to be the point.
A small part of the group, they come up together, invite uneducated Afghan, brainwash them. They hijack the religion. They make the religion the boogeyman.
But who did that? Who was the who behind that?
I wish I know that, but just couple mullah. The couple mullahs.
Were they Wahhabist? Were they imported from somewhere? Or?
Be honest with you, I don't know where that come from, but all I know, they hijacked the religion. They brainwashed the people. The time I was in Afghanistan, there was no issue about Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Sunni, Shias. They come out with the idea. In the Quran, they mention Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Ibrahim, Ishmael, everybody.
With prophets.
Prophets.
Yes.
They respect, and I have a good experience when Captain Benson and we were patrolling in Helmand province. One guy came in, a villager says, "Is he Russian? Is he atheist?" I said, "No." And I translate. I said, "No, he's a Christian. He believes Jesus." And Captain Benson pulled his cross, is in the book.
Yeah.
Pulled his cross as he kissed it, and that old gentleman, Afghan, come and hug him and cry. Said, "Thank you. Do you believe somebody?"
Wow.
That was very deep. It's in the book.
Well, they should be deep.
Yeah, they hijacked the religion. They hijacked the religion.
This is so deep. And also I mentioned to ASU, they have a Center for the Study of Religion and Conflict. And I believe you were part of that. I think Mark Ben Hagen, the professor, who we owe so much to, is also involved with the Veterans Oral Engagement. Is that correct, David?
Academic engagement?
Yes, for veterans. But Mark is a wonderful guy who's an expert on Ukraine.
Right.
But there's a Center for the Study of Religion and Conflict and also a Study for the Future of Warfare, and they're fused because we can't go on mulling our way through the world,
Right.
clubbing our way through these complex issues monolithically and with force. I mean, this takes some nuance and understanding, and the wherewithal to study that is right here in Arizona. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, Mike, how did you guys meet up?
Well, I was in Afghanistan in 2010. I'm an infantry officer, but I went back to finish my career as a field historian, which is a great job. Went over by myself in a plane full of Army guys. So
That must have been disgusting for you, Marine.
Well, so interestingly, to Kyrgyzstan, Manus Air Force Base. I'm an old guy. I remember the Soviet Union. I said, oh my gosh, here I am flying into the Soviet Union, then to Afghanistan, and to Kabul, and then to Helmand Province. And I got to pick my spots. I look at a map and go to intel briefs and where is stuff happening. And I fly out to a combat outpost and interview the Marines. It's very easy. I just give them turn on my recorder and let them tell their stories right after their operations. So I was in Delaram as part of doing that, and that's where 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines was, India Company, where Fahim was in a translator, interpreter, or TERP. And there was an event with the district governor at the humble battalion headquarters, and he was there at this little event, little banquet, very humble, and he was huge beard and interpreting. And I was talking, and I was there just, taking pictures, interviewing people. And somebody mentioned he was a Hollywood actor. And I said, how incongruous. Hollywood actor here in Delaram and godforsaken Helmand Province. Tell me more. And, he was, I don't want to say character actor, but he played, he's typecast.
The Heavy. He looks like the Heavy to me.
Well, as he'll tell you. And I sat across from him at the table like we are here. And a quick aside to back up, chapter 2, he talks about sitting at a table with a CIA guy at Paramount Studios for Charlie Wilson's War, sitting across from Julia Roberts and the late Mike Nichols and Tom Hanks and the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, young man with a 9th grade Afghan education, and the top Hollywood people all looking at him, Julia Roberts staring at him, and he's teaching them about how to be in Afghanistan. So that's a quick aside. It's chapter 2 in the book.
Sure.
So I'm at a banquet table, and I see him, and I asked him, so you Hollywood, and what did you do? What roles did you play? I'm fascinated. And he talked a little bit about that. We exchanged business cards, stayed in touch. I worked at it. I flew out to California when we both got back, and we talked. I interviewed him and taped his story, as I did with the Marines. And there was so much there. And I thought, oh my gosh. And of course, he was recording his story independently on a voice recorder and thinking someday he would put his story together. And so we talked about a book, and I interviewed him at great length. And we found a publisher, Dale Dye. His wife, Julia, Dr. Julia Dye, became our editor.
Well, he's been in some great movies.
Oh my gosh.
He's a guy.
Back to Platoon.
Oh,
yeah.
Platoon. What a movie that was.
We're going to see them later this week talking about the way forward. So they agreed to edit and publish the book. A long process, a lot of work for a year. Get it out there. It's got wonderful reviews, nominated or has won awards. Now it's been adapted to a movie proposal. So anyway, that's how I met Fahim. We've stayed in touch. We're both born on May 30th, a lot in common. And it's so exciting to be here in Arizona. I'm here from New Hampshire, and there's 10 feet of snow in my car at the airport, I'm told. And anyway, it's great to be here talking to students at ASU, Professor Mark Von Hagen's history class. We're going from here to talk to a Hollywood film class. It's so fun, and we're doing media with you folks, and we're on Channel 5 yesterday, and newspaper reporters, and we did an interview this morning with New Hampshire radio. So anyway, it's an adventure, it's a thrill, it's a ride. Of course, we hopefully things will flow from this. The book is out there. Of course, everybody has a book out there. There's George Carl's book. You and I both agree, one of the best books of all time.
One of the best books of all time. I laughed all the way through it, but it was telling and truthful and an insight into the look at the way our congressional process works, for better or for worse. I know I was at the Kennedy School, and there was a man there who ran our national defense programs. Mick Traynor was there, you should know, as a Marine.
Yep.
And the guy who took his place, he was actually in Marines with a friend of mine, and I got to know him semi-well. And anyway, a guy by the name of Murray was there, and who took over for me. He says, Congress is like a big bazaar. He says everything's for sale. Everything's for sale, votes and everything. It's just like, people are misreading Congress. It's a bazaar. Things are sold and bought and sold and traded, and it's on this ongoing thing. And so you have to really understand that. And Charlie Wilson, the book, captured that bizarre feeling of how a guy from Texas could wangle away all these billions of dollars to the Mujahideen that no one wanted at the time. And it was only happening because he had the trade-offs.
And Charlie Wilson was at that table too. I meant to mention again in chapter 2, you have Fahim talking to Charlie Wilson and Tom Hanks and Philip Seymour Hoffman and Julia Roberts. And in the book, Fahim talks about greeting people and how to kiss, they give, we won't do it here, but kiss on both sides of the cheeks or whatever. But and Tom Hanks looked at Philip Seymour Hoffman and said, "We'll practice this later, Phil." And very, very funny. Oh my gosh! So what a thrill to be talking to Dave and you about Charlie Wilson and this guy who influenced Charlie Wilson.
But how do you serve this book, and we're never finished?
We're going to serve this book. We're going to get people to read it. How did you work out with Clint Eastwood? He's done a hell of a job.
I was a great guy. I was working with an American Sniper. I was tribe leader. Great guy working, and I'm honored to be part of that movie. I'm honored to be part of Chris Kyle movie and Bradley Cooper movie. And basically my dream's complete, but I have one more dream. My book, Fahim Speaks, is going to become a movie. The end of this movie, Captain Vincent says, "Welcome to my tribe," which is Marine tribe.
Hoorah.
And and we're going to name this book, the movie, we're going to American Tribes, which is, I would love to be part of American tribe. I am American tribe, and I will die for this country.
And you put it on the line for it. You proved it.
I prove it. And always I was wondering how to pay my dues back for this country, because this country gave me a passport, American passport, shelter, electricity, freeway, cars, everything. And 9/11 happened. I made a decision, go back like Chris Kyle did. I'm not trying to compare myself with him. He's a way higher than me. But all of us, Army, Navy, Air Force, we all pay our dues for this country.
And Clint appreciates that. He gets it right. I love the movie. In my time, when we came back from Vietnam, it was The Deer Hunter. Man, I was never so torqued up in a movie theater as The Deer Hunter. And I felt that same thing when I was watching American Sniper. Clint captured it. What do you do? And only people who sit at this microphones and who have actually been in combat, where it's, do you pull the trigger or don't, or do you have to wrestle with that, and you own that shot. When you take that shot, you own it. And so that sniper agonized over that shot to save his troops.
One thing I learned about, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Clint, he was very sharp and fast and quick. One take and two take, that's it.
Well, that's Rowdy Yates, man. He's been on the trail. That's our old Rowdy Yates. He's on it. Well, that's beautiful. Listen, you guys were so perfect. Thank you for coming in. We certainly appreciate it. And when this book is a movie, we hopefully get you back, and we'll be in a much bigger studio now then. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. This is the Veterans Heritage Hour, and our guests have been authors Mike Moffat and Fahim Fazli. I finally got the name right. And for those Bonaventure guys who were betting on the over and under and how many wows I said, I think I was under. Thanks, you guys. This is the Veterans Heritage Hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.